The Galactic Council chamber fell silent as the transmission began. Ambassador Thexron of the Valorian Empire leaned forward, his 6 eyes narrowing at the holographic display. The message was simple, written in 73 galactic languages simultaneously. Humanity requests an audience. Murmurs rippled through the assembled delegates. Humanity. A name that existed only in historical archives. A cautionary tale told to young civilizations about hubris and extinction. Impossible, hissed Representative Kirith from her crystalline seat. The humans have been gone for 4 centuries. Their homeworld is a dead rock, their colonies abandoned ruins. Yet the transmission coordinates were valid, originating from the edge of known space. After 3 hours of heated debate, the council agreed. They would meet these supposed humans if only to unmask the imposters attempting to claim a dead species legacy. The delegation arrived at the designated coordinates in neutral space, their dreadnoughts bristling with weapons. What they found defied all expectations. A single vessel waited for them, sleek, impossibly black, absorbing light itself. It was smaller than their smallest frigate, yet every scanner that touched it returned nonsensical readings. The ship existed in 4 dimensions when it should only occupy 3. "This is Captain Sarah Chen of the Terran Expeditionary Fleet." A voice crackled through their communications. "Permission to come aboard?" The council representatives exchanged uncertain glances. Terran, Earth, the old names spoken with quiet confidence. When the airlock opened, a woman stepped through. She was unremarkably human. Brown skin, dark hair tied back, wearing a simple gray uniform. But something in her eyes spoke of depths the council members couldn't fathom. She smiled, and it didn't quite reach those ancient eyes. "Greetings," Captain Chen said, bowing slightly. "Thank you for agreeing to meet with us. I understand you have questions." "You claim to be human," Ambassador Thexron began carefully, "yet humanity disappeared 417 standard cycles ago. Your worlds went silent. Your ship stopped flying. Every human colony we investigated was empty, as if your entire species simply walked away." "We did," Chen replied simply. "We left." "Why?" She tilted her head, considering. "You wouldn't believe me if I told you, so let me show you instead." Chen activated a small device on her wrist. The air shimmered, and suddenly they weren't on the ship anymore. They stood in a vast space, infinite, impossible. Stars wheeled overhead, not in the familiar patterns of real space, but in configurations that hurt to observe. Galaxies spiraled in the distance, and between them, structures of pure mathematics given form. 4 centuries ago, we made first contact. Chen's voice echoed from everywhere and nowhere. "Not with you, the corporeal species of this galaxy. With something else. Something that existed in the spaces between spaces, in dimensions you don't have words for." The vision shifted. The council members saw Earth teeming with billions, then suddenly empty. Not destroyed, simply abandoned like a chrysalis left behind. "They offered us a choice," Chen continued. "Remain as we were, bound to 3 dimensions and linear time, or evolve. Transcend." It required all of us. Every human, everywhere, simultaneously. We debated for 17 years. When we finally decided, we had 48 hours to prepare. The impossible space dissolved. They were back on the ship, but the council members were trembling, their minds struggling to process what they'd witnessed. "We learned to exist outside conventional space-time," Chen explained, her tone matter-of-fact. "We explored dimensions your species haven't discovered yet. We met entities that make your oldest gods look like children. We fought wars across timelines that never happened. We built civilizations in places that don't exist." "Then why return?" Kirith demanded, her voice shaking. "Why come back to this limited existence?" Chen's expression softened. "Because we're still human, and humans are curious. We wanted to see what had changed in our absence. Who had taken our place among the stars?" She walked to the viewport, looking out at the council fleet. "We've been watching. The Valorian conquest of the Theta Sector. The Crystalline Accords resource wars. The slow extinction of the Prelian species because no one would share medical technology." The accusation hung in the air. Ambassador Thexron's scales flushed deep purple with shame. "We left you our technology," Chen said quietly. "Blueprints for fusion reactors, medical nanites, FTL drives that didn't tear holes in space-time. We left our libraries, our art, our history. We hoped you would learn from our mistakes. Build something better. You cannot judge us." Kirith rose from her seat. crystal body crackling with indignation. "We have built the greatest civilization this galaxy has ever known." "Built on the bones of 37 extinct species," Chen countered, her voice sharp as a blade. "Sustained by the exploitation of 43 slave races, governed by fear and military might." She turned back to face them, and now there was steel in her gaze. "Humanity is not returning to reclaim our territory. We don't need it, but we are reclaiming our responsibility. For 4 centuries, we abandoned you. We pursued our own transcendence and left you to stumble in the dark. That ends now. What are you saying?" Thexron asked, dread creeping into his voice. "We're saying enough." Chen's form flickered, and suddenly she wasn't alone. Thousands of humans appeared throughout the ship, stepping from nowhere, existing in spaces that couldn't contain them. "The Galactic Council is hereby dissolved. The slave races are free. The conquered worlds will be returned, and those who resist—" She didn't finish the sentence. She didn't need to. The council members felt it, a pressure against their minds, gentle but irresistible, showing them exactly what resistance would mean. Humanity had evolved beyond warfare. They didn't fight anymore. They simply made the concept of opposition irrelevant. "We will guide you," Chen said, her voice kind now, almost sad. "Whether you want it or not, because that's what humans do. We interfere. We protect. We push others to be better, even when they hate us for it." The delegation was returned to their ships, memories intact but spirits broken. They had come expecting imposters or ghosts. Instead, they had met gods who still called themselves human. As the black ship disappeared, folding itself into dimensions that shouldn't exist, Ambassador Thexron understood the truth. Humanity hadn't vanished. They had simply outgrown their cage. And now they had returned not as conquerors but as shepherds. The age of the Council was over. The age of humanity, evolved, unstoppable, and impossibly terrifyingly human, had begun.